Tim King of SalemNews.com will ask the next question.
Thank you, Cliff. Good evening. A number of residents who live near the airport and others feel that having the airport near the center of town can be a detriment to Salem's livability. There have been complaints about noise pollution and air pollution from McNary Field as it reaches many parts of the city. Should Salem continue to expand airport operations? And if so, how should the concerns of the people, like just mentioned, be addressed?
Mr. Chapman, why don't you start?
As one of those citizens who has complained often about noise at the airport, I think this is a very urban airport. It has residences nearby. The Fairview site is immediately under the training flight path of aircraft. And I believe that resource needs to be protected, and it should be, so we should value how it's used. The helicopter school provided 5 takeoffs and 5 landings for every hour the tower was open 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. So that would mean a flight would be taking off and landing every 10 minutes, every hour of the day. And those looping flights would come over residential neighborhoods. And I believe that helicopter training schools are an inappropriate use there and ought to be prohibited from the airport. And that further, the airport master plan, which was written in about 1996, and immediately after commercial flights left Salem, does not talk much about commercial. It talks a little bit, but it's a very scientific document about the appropriate plane we're designing the airport for, and how much runway length it needs, and if it's hot, how much weight it has to lose, and all kinds of things. But in that plan, there is nothing about, well, there's some conversation about a runway extension, for instance, and a terminal, but in 56 capital projects listed in the plan, a terminal expansion and a runway extension are not mentioned as in those 56 capital projects. So I think it is time for there to be a serious effort for an airport master plan, which really involves the community and the neighbors to talk about these kind of conflicts and come to some kind of resolution about what are the appropriate uses of the airport.
Mrs. Dickey.
Well, I don't live near the airport, and Ward 5 is not within that general area, so in our neighborhoods, we don't hear a lot of issue with the noise, although I do understand it is an issue for the people who live near there. So I can't really speak to that. I would say I do support commercial air service to Salem. I think it's really good for the economy. But I also think that just like with growth, we need to manage it really well so that we're providing the best benefit to Salem's economy, but also at the least impact to the neighborhoods. So I can't speak a lot to that without hearing really more from people who are just directly impacted by it. But I think it's something that's worth discussing.
Thank you. Councilor Bennett.
I think the airport's a major resource to the community and to its economic and cultural future. There's no doubt in my mind of that. We do not receive complaints about commercial service. It just doesn't happen. The calls that come in don't occur coincidentally or describe events coincidental to the couple of flights a day that are coming in. The problems we've had were associated with a helicopter school. We have very severe limitations by the the FAA in terms of what we can and can't prohibit at the airport. What we do have is an outdated airport master plan. I think Ms. Chapman's absolutely correct. That needs to be updated, and I believe that process is soon to be underway. And as we deal with companies providing things like, if it happens again, a helicopter school, there are strategies and requirements and stringent guidelines that can be placed on them to provide for both the livability and public safety, because I think both of those came into play, let alone the economic well-being of citizens that were ripped off by that outfit. So I think we need to look very carefully at anyone that comes into that airport with that kind of program. And the thing that's frustrating is there were real signs there was a problem out there for a long period of time, that we had a problem with that bunch. And I'm real disappointed that it got as far as it did, and that as many citizens were ripped off in this area as were by this bunch. And nothing seemed to be going on to get that under control. So I think anyone who's griping right now has got more to gripe about than just sound. I feel really sorry for the guys that borrowed $50, $70, whatever $1,000 and are sitting there with a debt and a closed outfit that left them hanging.
Thank you.